Hello. Wanted to make a video just on current events. I was asleep and then I woke up and I was thinking, man, if I got rid of my thoughts, I could go back to sleep. So I'm gonna do it now and just get it out, and you'll see this tomorrow morning, hopefully, or tomorrow afternoon, possibly, because I'll be gone. But um, I'm not on the chair. In the chair, it's over there. Uh, in the bed, just like wondering what the hell is going on in the world and all that, and with all facets of life right now, it's crazy right now, just how stuff is. I guess we'll go with the most serious stuff. Is that we had those shootings on the weekend, and it seems like these Nazi skinhead white guys that have mental issues or don't just find the right time and where others are that believe in the way of life that should be, and they go disturb it by doing these mass shootings. It just has been bugging me this whole weekend about it. I don't know um, how to think or feel right now because you know I know it is who they are, but we also have the reports about the Chicago shootings every weekend and how many get shot and are dead. It seems to just be an ongoing thing. Now, if everything is how I want it, is fair, then I would say there's there's white terrorists and there's black terrorists. So I just want to be fair on that. I don't have a preference about race. I don't care. I get along with everyone. But it just seems like, okay, there's the white side of shootings and there's a black side of shootings, and neither are being stopped. Excuse me, nothing has been stopped all this time. It just seems like an ongoing issue that will never be tamed when you think about it. So it really just it hit me just how things will go after all this, because it seems like nothing will get done. There will be no laws being passed. There will be nothing to tame all this. I don't know much about excuse me, gun control and all that, but I do know that people with issues mentally should not have guns. That's just the most simplest idea that people should have about guns and gun control. Now, you can't monitor everybody at the same time. I know the government does. They try. And that's how they got the news about the El Paso shooter, but it couldn't stop it in time. But it's not like you're going to go to every house in the country or find out who's registered for a gun and then go knock on their doors and take their guns. I know that won't happen, but maybe it should. And I'm not part of a party. I'm not part of, a way of thinking, Democrat, Republican, liberal. I don't know what I am, honest to God. I don't know what I am. I have different beliefs, different ideas of how things should be. I'm not perfect at all about it. It's going to offend one side. and then whatever else I say is going to offend the other side. This is how I go about things, and it's pretty scary in the world right now. Just to know that, oh yeah, there's shootings anytime. Large people, a large amount of people gather. Like we had the Gilroy shooting up in Northern California, and then this weekend you have one in El Paso, and then the one in Dayton, Ohio. And it's just been bugging me that this continues to happen. So if I had a solution, I would say any mentally unstable person should be watched very carefully. Make sure his beliefs aren't terroristic. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have hate in you, you should be fine. If you don't express it, it's fine. You know, but if we find something, we're gonna put you on a list to say, hey, this is gonna be um, someone we can't have out in public because they're a threat to society. Now, when you think about threats to society, one thing that came to mind is like, okay, remember if you look in your history books, they had the concentration camps for uh, after Pearl Harbor happened, and then they on the West Coast, especially in Southern California, they uh, they took all the Japanese to these camps because they thought, okay, they're gonna be part of a revolution that will go against the United States. So they put them all in concentration camps. So being as cynical as I am and as smart as I am, I thought, why don't we put all the people that look like skinhead Nazi with glasses and with a mind to kill, why don't we put them in concentration camps and make sure they don't do anything to the citizens of this country? It wouldn't offend anyone, I don't think. It wouldn't offend the offenders. They get offended easily. It would be a good thing. Honestly, God, that's what I think. That you should take the people that have hate, and if you go to their house, if you go to their school, if you go to wherever they go, and you see something, okay, you got to do something. You can't let them be in public. You have to put them away. Not like put them away, but they can't be in public. And it'll take some years, it'll take some doing, but you got to do something. I mean, if you're United States, if you're raiding houses, neighborhoods, restaurants, hotels for illegal immigration, legal immigrants, why can't you do the same for the uh, Nazi skinhead KKK supporters? Why can't you do that? But maybe it would take someone else in the Oval Office to do that, have a bold idea like that. But it would make us as a country better. I've lost a lot of faith in our country as of late, with all these shootings and nothing being done about it because one side is stubborn, the other side, the other side is too, I think, flashy about it. I think there's a way to do things, and just say, hey, we got to get this done. We can't go out and put ourselves on Twitter and make us look young and stupid. We got to be smart about this stuff. Now, that's white terror, right? If you go black terror about Chicago and the inner cities, about the shootings every weekend and holidays and all that, you also have to go raid those housing projects. You have to go in there and destroy that, because you can't have people living in fear. You can't have black on black crime. For black people, you can't be that ignorant not to see that every year, or excuse me, every weekend, and not wanting to stop it. I hear a lot of people, they want to do something about it, like end gun violence and all that, but nothing is ever done to the people that's close to the people of Chicago. You know, nothing is ever taken over by the police, by the government, by FBI. There seems to be no raids as of late. And every time you have shootings like this in Chicago's South Side, there should be immediate action to stop it. And it didn't matter with Obama's administration. Now with Trump's administration, it didn't matter. These killings and shootings will still go on. And I hate the fact that, yeah, everybody's saying the right thing, that can be done. We need to stop it. But nobody's doing anything about it. So both sides, white terror and black terror, there's people want it to be done with and stopped, but no one will force anything to be done. I'm someone that wants immediate reaction right away when something uh, is wrong and needs to be dealt with. And you know, it seems with all the killings and all that, that nothing is done. It's just the same old song, but it's the same meaning every time. That you know, I don't hear Latinos and Asians, and you used to hear like Muslim mass shootings. I don't hear it anymore. There's no mass shootings, with Muslim. I only remember the San Bernardino shooting, but that was like what, a few years back. Oh, from that, excuse me, there hasn't been any Muslim shootings going on in the USA. They've been great citizens. I never had an issue with them. So I guess it's a divide of just ignorance that people take with whites and blacks about how they go about their own people killing, and they need to be checked by the government, by the FBI. They need to be dealt with. So I had that in my head very much this whole weekend, just thinking about why this stuff continues to happen, you know, and we good people who aren't doing this stuff are the victims. And I get sick and tired of going, you know, coming home or looking on my phone and shootings happen. Whether here or there, Chicago, uh, you know, Texas, California, by blacks and whites. It's just too much it continues to happen and nothing gets done. There's an old saying, you know, somebody needs to pull their head out of their asses and get it, get something done. So I'd hope one day that we are at the crossroad now of something that should be done. We've had too many of these mass shootings. We've had too many problems that need to be solved, and nothing's getting done whatsoever. So I had that on my mind like the whole time I went to sleep. I woke up. When you get this video, it's gonna be tomorrow, but but it's Saturday. I mean, was Sunday. So uh, it's just it's hard to hear. Like it's hard to deal with all the hate and all the issues that come with it, but nothing ever seems to be done about it. It's just it's frustrating, I guess, to say. And I would love to hear the comments and the ignorance from others watching this video and seeing how dumb people really are and how protective they are to this situation. How stupid you may sound by the words you type. Uh, that's just you know it's just stupid. Whatever hate that people have and all that is just quiet hate, but then it turns out to being something like what happened this weekend. And the example is to follow the president, and if so, you think you hate others and you go do something about it. You're no good. You're no good to the earth, to peace. You're no good to society. You're really a menace to society, honestly. People just want to live their lives and be on their phones, you know, just go do stuff with their families and friends and not have to worry about going shopping and dining or going to festivals, going to malls, going to uh, work. People just want to live their lives and not have to worry about stuff. I've been lucky all this time, nothing's happened to me, and but I'm aware. I'm aware of things. I'm aware of people around me. I know that there are evil people around me. And I know when to be away from them. It's just they come together for a solution. That's really it. So it's been almost 20 minutes on that topic. Now I just want to get to something less serious and something that uh, is also hurting me, but in a lesser way, of course. And that's we have the Angels baseball going on, and it's not a pretty sight. There's many injuries, many issues pitching wise. The offense is there, but the pitching isn't. Now they're so many games out of division, so many games out of the wild card. It's like not even I don't even know how many games I'll go to the rest of the season for the Angels. It's just not worth it. It's just uh, maybe if I go with some people, maybe I'll just go, but I have to worry about the baseball side of it because the team is losing. That the game on the field has no meaning in the standings, but just there to have a good time. But I really don't want to feel that with the Angels. I want to go and have games to play with meaning. Like, oh, we're this much out of the wild card. We need these games. It's frustrating. It's frustrating that the GM did not go out and get pitching. Granted, I heard they don't have much to give up, but they designate LaCroix. They get a new catcher who isn't that good. So, but they don't get any relief pitching help, and that really, is the issue for the Angels right now. And the starting pitcher, it's just awful. So, uh, maybe I'll see it at the game. Maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Uh, Down here in San Diego, same kind of decline has happened with the Padres. Padres have lost many, many games since the All Star break, being around 500, and then deflating, honestly. And they're already, playing for next year. They're already 7 out of the wild card, which is, more like 15 out of the wild card, honestly. um, and they broke the fans' heart by trading a good guy for Mil Reyes, whom was a great clubhouse guy. He's very productive. He's an outfielder that was just full of joy, full of pleasure to watch, and I'm gonna miss him, seeing him here every night. Pretty much try to watch everybody, but his smile, where he got along with Tatis and Machado and Hosmer, and all the other guys in the dugout. And then they traded him to Cleveland, so now I'm going to watch more Cleveland games. And since Cleveland's in the race, Vermeil's playing for something, and excuse me, and that's good for him. I know he's pressing a bit because he's trying to, do too much in a new town and on a new team that's trying to compete. So, I just wish him the best. He was so much fun to watch play, and he made you enjoy the game because he played it like a kid. Sometimes he would smile, he would sing, he would uh, just be a great clubhouse guy, and he'll be that. It seems like everywhere he goes. Um, the best luck to Vermil, and now with the Padres, they're just waiting for next year, I guess, and to really compete. But right now, they're just going through the motions, and it's very much okay. Let's just get the season done with. They're losing, and yeah, and then they got uh, Trammell, this young outfielder who is in the Cincinnati organization. He's supposed to be ready next year. Uh, he's a guy, that young kid, I should say, that will be ready. Um, for sure 2021, but they need someone for next year, and they traded Reyes, which was already productive, already to go. So yeah, you can have all this young talent, but you gotta be very careful on trading for veterans and bringing up these young guys and getting them in, and knowing that they're young. How are they going to react to their first time out and their first slump and their first hitting streak and their first winning and losing streaks on the Major League Ball Club? That's going to be the thing. Now, that's the Padres, and I always wondered with the Angels, will they ever get younger? I know they pretty much used all the top prospects already this season. As far as I remember on the Baseball America handbook, they've already brought up pretty much all the guys that they needed to fill out the roster with all the injuries and all the players that were released and injured. Uh, but I know the farm system isn't that good. It's just Angels are in a really bad place. It's just really unfortunate that they have the best player in the game, but they can't do anything around it. I think heads need to get together and there needs to be a plan. Say, hey, how do we get better? And really, I don't know if anybody knows what they're doing. Now, the mistakes of the past with the big signings, that hurts the payroll and that hurts you getting better. So the Angels have to be really careful with all the trading and all the players they bring up and make sure that they are ready and that there is pitching, there is something. I mean, the issue is with Simmons, with the shortstop, Andrelton Simmons, if they bring him back after next year because he's a free agent, he'll be garnering a lot of attention and money, and the Angels have to be really close, uh, be really careful with that decision. Don't pay too much for it because honestly, he's a great fielder, but he's not an average hitter, and that's something the Angels really need. They need, a David Fletcher. They need a Mike Trout. They need a well, Brian Goodwin, but he's not a long term guy that they're gonna have. And everybody else is really just swinging for the fences or striking out, and it's really depleting. Honestly, I can't stand it because there's only a few good guys on the team, and everybody else sucks. Honestly, and it's just it's depleting. Honestly, I don't know what's gonna happen now. Now, if you're talking about the perfect team with just a bullpen fault, but that will be recovered, you're talking about the LA Dodgers. I mean, they're just continuing to hit. They're continuing to do what they need to do to win games, and they'll be a force, of course, and probably go back to the World Series. And like I said, excuse me, in a prediction, I said Houston will face LA and Houston will win again. And if you recall, this last week, at the trade deadline, Houston went out and got Zach Greinke because they know they probably won't bring back Garrett Cole. These are all starting pitchers, of course. So with Garrett Cole being a free agent, he'll garner a lot of money and attention somewhere else. And Zach Greinke still has 2 more years after this. Granted, it's 100 mil, but they believed in him to anchor the rotation even more. They know Verlander won't be there forever. So this was a move that not only propels them to being the favorite, it makes them the favorite, excuse me, even next year, next season. They have the prospects still. They have Alvarez that came up. He's hitting so well for the Astros, and them and the Dodgers are a force. They're honestly the only two. Houston and LA are the only two that you could count on to make the World Series, and that's what I thought the whole year long. That Houston just made a move. The Dodgers, who did make a move, but they brought up some young guys that even helped even more. You know, you'll have a battle at the stake with the two best, and that's who they are. So with that, we had the NFL preseason started. I guess I watched only about 7 minutes of it, and then I think I would turn it somewhere else. It's just a real bad game. No starters were out there for Denver and Atlanta, and it's a Hall of Fame game that everybody looks forward to. But once you watch just like a few minutes of it, you're like, nope, 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 nope. This isn't good. So I guess that's the start of things. I don't know how other people's minds go about the NFL when it starts. Like we see training camp, draft. Yeah, I don't know. My maybe opinion would probably be training camp because you have the stories that go in, you have the optimism, but sadly, you also have the players that are coming in to work out and practice and are running and they cut and they just they get injured. They tear ACLs and Achilles or rupture something, and we've seen that in the NFL as of late with some key team members. Excuse me, on teams that really need him. We have AJ Green of the Bengals. Even though they were not going to do much this year, they really needed him, and I don't know how long he won't be around. But another bad team that lost three wide receivers were the New York Football Giants. Now they lost three uh, receivers in a span about, I think it was about a couple of weeks, and they traded Odell Beckham Jr. So for those two franchises, it's even going to be more painful. It's going to be more of a long season, and it was only training camp. And now you go into training camp deeper. You go into the preseason. You're saying, how can this get any better? How can they persevere and surprise, or just tank? And that's what probably excuse me, Cincinnati and excuse me, the New York Giants will do. So I'm uh, I'm a Raider, of course. So I'm not optimistic about the Raiders, and never was. I don't particularly like Antonio Brown, uh, but he is a Raider. He's someone that the Raiders need as they move to Vegas. next year. They play what should be their final season in Oakland. And we have reports now about Antonio Brown and his feet and how bad they are, how much wear and tear. And he's already missed a lot of training camp, and he's bound to miss more. It's just a Raider thing to happen. And I just feel bad for all the unrealistic fans that think, okay, we're gonna be 10-6, we're gonna get a wild card, and you know just have false hope, I guess. And that's part of me just being cynical, me being a jerk. But I'm a realist, and I know the history. I know the good, bad, and ugly, and there's been a lot of ugly lately. The draft went well for the Raiders, but they're going to be young. They're going to be unprepared. But it's about how they grow and how they get ready for games in the season, the bad times, and how to persevere through them to make them good times. And the wins that the Raiders will get, they won't be easy. It'll just be like last year. It won't be easy, and it won't be anything. Uh, like I say, it won't be easy. Uh, my prediction for the Raiders is probably 5-11 or 6-10. Uh, I'll probably say last place or third. It depends how Denver and I think how many games the Broncos win defensively. Because when you think of defense, when you think of Denver, you think of defense. Excuse me. And now they have Joe Flacco, but he's in a quarterback uh, controversy with the rookie Luck and Drew. I think it's Drew Luck. So I'll look out for that in the division. And the divisional wise, you have the Chiefs who have an injured Tyreek Hill, and he won't be suspended somehow. So he'll be back, but his injury will be something to monitor throughout the season. um, you also have that team up north in LA. Uh, that Melvin Gordon reportedly doesn't want to play for anymore because they won't pay him because for once that team is smart. And same thing going on in Dallas with the Cowboys and Ezekiel Elliott. Melvin Gordon wants this amount of money, but it's not worth it. He's a running back. He's an injured one. So they're hoping not to repeat what the Rams did by paying Todd Gurley and putting them in a bad cap situation and contract situation as they paid Gurley handsomely. And he reportedly with the LA Rams is not going to be a featured back. He he said he doesn't like all this negative energy on my knee. Well, that's just the thing. When the report comes out, you're going to be asked about it. I know, players are people, and players are softer now, and they get more sensitive now. So that was just something odd to hear being a kind of old school guy like I am, saying don't put all this negative energy on my knee, or just ignore it. Just don't feed into it. And so the Rams are gonna have to deal with that and pass and pass and pass and pass and try to get running backups going, but that would be interesting to see in LA with the Rams as they play their final season at the Coliseum. The new seats, I can't wait to see that and go to a few USC games. I got it here, but that would be fun to do. Uh, I don't know who I'll go against, but the USC, I know they're not ready to be prime time. As long as they don't lose to UCLA again, I'm good with that. But you know, there's teams in the Pac-12 Conference of Champions that are better than the Trojans. I think if you're not an entitled fan, you'll realize that and just hope that they'll be a better team with all the recruits that they brought in and now are starting uh, with the Trojans. You're just hoping for better than the last few years that USC has played. So that's pretty much the NFL. And as we talked about the Ezekiel Elliott contract and how they have to pay Dak, they have to pay Cooper, but Elliott will be out there, and I'm hearing it might be a situation where the holdout gets into the season, and then they'll get desperate. Jared Jones will get desperate, and they'll pay for him. But maybe it's a new way of thinking. We're saying, hey, we're passing the ball now. We're doing these play actions where the running backs don't matter, but the points do. So we have if you're the Cowboys, you're saying, okay, we have Witten, we have Cooper, we have some other weapons. I know they just got rid of Hearns, so I haven't really looked at the Cowboys and their receivers, but it's amazing to see Jason Witten back after a year of doing a terrible job on Monday Night Football, in many people's opinion. I didn't listen. I had it on mute, so I didn't care about his talk. Um, but since the Cowboys are training out in Oxnard, we talked about that. And I think one final note as I get out of here and hopefully get this done before 45 minutes of your time. I know you probably skipped through all the boring stuff. On Saturday, I know something worse happened in El Paso, Texas. And then there was a report, and sorry to say, uh, someone from Texas who was Oakland Raider, LA Raider legend, Cliff Branch, receiver, number 21. He passed away Saturday, and growing up, I would try to get any footage of uh, pretty much anything from classic NFL, sports in general, and uh, being a Raider fan all these years since then, I learned about all these players that were great and some that should be in the Hall of Fame, and Cliff Branch is one of them. Uh, Game through at the biggest times, the playoff games, and Super Bowls, and all that. And I know it's a Hall of Fame class this year. It wasn't that good, you know. Of course, you had some studs, but had some others getting in after so many years. And I was thinking, man, the Raiders have so many guys like that that haven't gone in that should, and some have passed, and now Cliff Branch has passed, and just a shame that he won't be alive to see himself get in. But I hope one day he'll get in, and the committee will finally get their head out of their ass and get him in. Uh, His speed was amazing. His desire. I wrote something on social media about him and his confidence. Let's just say to say, hey, I can beat my man deep, even though we're not playing the game yet. Uh, I have belief of running downhill and I can catch when I need to and make big plays. And I'm thinking, how valuable of a guy was that for the Raiders, Kent State? So I'm I'm saddened, and I'll keep his memory, and hopefully I'll get a jersey or shirt of him one day, uh, and he'll live on as the Raiders sadly move out of Oakland, but uh, we'll remember Cliff Branch. We'll remember all the players that played there, and in LA as well, as Cliff was all part of the three Super Bowls that the Raiders have. It's just it was just a terrible weekend, honestly, and you know, hopefully next weekend will be less newsworthy. We can all just get along with get on with our lives and enjoy ourselves. I'm gonna enjoy a certain someone uh, this Sunday, so I can't wait to see her. I can't wait to be with her. We'll go from there. So till next time, this hasn't been the chair. You can say this has been the bed, but I don't know if I want to do that. But I will see you in another video, hopefully soon. Everybody be safe and take care out